Contractor remanded after firearm and ammunition charges. Big Smith News Watch reports a 28-year-old contractor from Amelia's ward, Martin Fraser, has been remanded to prison following charges of illegal possession of a firearm and ammunition. Fraser, of Costello Avenue in Central Amelia's ward, was accused of possessing an unlicensed firearm and matching rounds on December 1, 2025. The charges were filed under Section 16(2)(a) of the Firearm Act, Chapter 1605. He appeared before Her Worship Rochelle Liverpool at the Linden Magistrates Court on Thursday, December 4 at 10:20 a.m., where the charges were presented. Fraser pleaded not guilty to both accusations. Bail was denied, and he has been remanded to prison. The case is set to be reviewed on January 8, 2026. Police investigate malicious damage case in Mon Repos. Authorities are probing a peculiar case of malicious damage to property that occurred on Wednesday morning, involving a confrontation between two drivers. The incident took place around 7:10 a.m. along Mon Repos School Road. Reports indicate that a motor canter, registered as GAC 7299 and driven by a 49-year-old man from Good Hope, was traveling north when it briefly encountered motorcar PG 4521, driven by a 42-year-old businesswoman from Mon Repos north traveling south. After their brief roadway encounter, both drivers continued on their way. However, while the canter driver was waiting at a nearby traffic light, the businesswoman allegedly stopped her vehicle, exited with a metal pipe, and struck the canter, smashing a window and damaging the right side rearview mirror. Following the incident, the businesswoman was arrested and taken to the Mon Repos police outpost, where she remains in custody as investigators work to clarify the events that led to the confrontation. Police have confirmed that investigations are ongoing. Update on missing person report, tragic discovery in LBI. Ray Lilly reports, a missing person report has taken a somber turn with the discovery of Mr. Mickey Wilkinson, 75, known affectionately as Mickey Mouse from Buxton Village. Tragically, he was found dead in the LBI area hours ago. Mr. Wilkinson was last seen on Wednesday, November 26, around 3:30 p.m. in the Annandale New Housing Scheme, where he was riding his blue bicycle with a small basket, dressed in an orange jersey, black pants, and slippers. His disappearance had prompted concern within the community. The circumstances surrounding his death are currently under investigation, and authorities are working to determine the cause. The community extends heartfelt condolences to Mr. Wilkinson's family during this difficult time as they mourn the loss of their loved one. Police Constable charged after gun rampage in Region 1. Police Constable Daniel Henry, attached to Regional Police Division 1, has been charged with possession of a firearm with intent to injure, contrary to Section 37 of the Firearm Offences Act, Chapter 1605. Henry appeared before His Worship Rabindranath Singh at the Port Kaituma Magistrates Court on Thursday, December 4, 2025, via Zoom. The charge was read to him, and he was not required to enter a plea. Bail was denied, and he was remanded to prison. The case has been adjourned to January 14, 2026, for further proceedings. This charge follows a viral video earlier in the month, in which Henry was seen discharging a firearm during an apparent confrontation. Two porters remanded on attempted felony charge in Let Him. Cian Fraser, 26, of Monkey Mountain, and Theron Sandwell, 18, of Paramacatoy, both porters, have been charged with an alleged attempt to commit a felony in connection with a case involving a businessman from Tabatinga, Central Rupununi, Region 9. The charges stem from an incident on December 3, 2025, where it is alleged that the two attempted to commit simple larceny, contrary to Section 36 of the Criminal Law, Offenses Act, Chapter 801. On Thursday, December 4, 2025, at 10:05 a.m., both accused appeared before His Worship Omidat Chandan at the Lethem Magistrates Court. The indictable charge was read to them, but they were not required to enter a plea. Bail was denied, and they were remanded to prison. The case has been adjourned to January 28, 2026, for further proceedings. Update: Woman killed in Aubrey Barker Road accident. iNews Guyana reports a tragic accident occurred this afternoon when a woman was struck and killed while crossing Aubrey Barker Road. The victim has been identified as Shondal Dundas. Reports indicate that around 12:50 p.m., Dundas was crossing the road just a few meters from a pedestrian crossing when she was hit by a speeding motorcar. Eyewitnesses revealed that upon noticing the approaching vehicle, Dundas reacted in panic and stepped back to avoid a collision. Unfortunately, the car swerved and collided with her, throwing her into the air before she landed back onto the roadway. Residents in the area mourn the loss of Dundas, who lived in South Ruimveldt and was a mother to a daughter attending the David Rose Primary School. A local vendor noted that just moments before the incident, Dundas was speaking about her holiday preparations. The community is in shock as they come to terms with this tragic event, and investigations into the accident are underway. Gold miner arrested for cannabis possession in Essequibo. A 22-year-old gold miner, Nicholas Allen of Potaro Road, Bartica, was arrested on Wednesday following a police operation that uncovered nearly 300 grams of cannabis. During the intelligence-led operation, police entered a makeshift camp where they encountered Allen. A search of the premises revealed 298.4 grams of suspected cannabis leaves, seeds, and stems, which were weighed in his presence and subsequently processed as evidence. In addition to Allen's arrest, a 17-year-old female present at the camp was also taken into custody. Authorities noted that Allen was wanted on a warrant issued by the Sudhi High Court related to a rape offense. On Thursday, December 4th, Allen appeared before Magistrate Tariq Mohammed at the Bartica Magistrates Court. He was charged with possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking under Section 5(1)(a)(I) of the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Control Act, Chapter 1010. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 1 year in prison and fined GYD $30,000. Investigations into the matter are ongoing. GPHC CEO warns of kidney disease crisis in Guyana. Robbie Rambaran, Chief Executive Officer of the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC, has raised concerns over a significant surge in kidney disease cases in Guyana, indicating that the nation is facing a health crisis reflective of a troubling global trend. Rambaran reported that local healthcare facilities are struggling to cope with the increasing number of patients needing specialized renal treatment. At Georgetown Hospital alone, from 2023 to date, we have registered 2,200 new patients in our nephrology clinic. We currently have 368 patients on dialysis, and of those, 246 began treatment just this year, he stated, emphasizing that these alarming figures do not account for cases managed in other public hospitals or the private sector. Even more concerning, he noted, is the rise in hospitalizations due to missed or irregular dialysis sessions. We have seen an increase in patients being admitted very sick, with the majority of them lacking essential dialysis treatment, Rambaran explained. Despite the government's provision of an annual subsidy of $600,000 for hemodialysis treatment, he highlighted that many eligible patients are still not utilizing this support. As of today, 29 patients are hospitalized at GPHC with kidney-related complications, 20 of whom are on dialysis. 90% of these admissions are due to defaults in dialysis treatment, he stressed. With demand for dialysis and kidney transplants significantly outpacing national capacity, Rambaran issued a strong call for urgent action and public awareness to prevent further escalation of the kidney disease crisis in Guyana. He urged stakeholders to address this pressing public health issue to enhance the well-being of affected individuals and the community at large. Vendors express concerns amid progress of Stabroek Market beautification project. News source Guyana reports the beautification project at Stabroek Market Square is underway, but vendors are left apprehensive about the implications for their businesses. The initiative includes the installation of a Christmas tree at the market center, an elevated platform for commuters, and designated areas for vendors and local creatives. During a recent visit by news source, construction workers could be seen compacting the site, which has been cordoned off from both commuters and vendors. The contractor on site declined to offer any updates or comments on the project status. Despite the ongoing construction, vendors continue to operate on the periphery of the project area. Kevin Messiah, who has sold coconut water at the Stabroek Market Square since 2013, expressed skepticism despite assurances from the local government minister about securing a vending booth post-construction. Until it happens, I can't believe it. I'm still waiting patiently, Messiah said. He shared his reliance on his business for financial stability, stating, I got to hustle. I can't stop hustling. I've invested a lot, and I have bills to pay. Another vendor, Tracy Accra, who sells mobile credits and MMG, voiced support for the city's beautification efforts but emphasized the need for clarity regarding vendor placements. I'm not against the beautification. That's actually good. But there were no clarifications when they started this project. As long as I can vend and other vendors can sell, that's my main concern, Accra articulated. Deborah Gordon, who has been selling at the square for 20 years, has been a presence at Stabroek Market since 1985. She acknowledged the positive aspect of the project, but criticized the lack of communication regarding vendor placements. Putting the vendors out without saying anything is very bad. I'd like to know if we are going back in or if they're bringing in others. It would be unfair otherwise, Gordon stated, emphasizing the need for a clearly defined vending location. Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Priya Manikchand, reassured vendors that they would not be removed during the project. However, she indicated that the beautification campaign aims to bring structure to public spaces, including markets. City Mayor Alfred Mentor, who supports the program, acknowledged in a recent interview that development comes with challenges. He admitted that the City Council and the local government ministry need to improve communication with vendors regarding the project's implementation. As the beautification project progresses, vendors remain hopeful yet cautious, eagerly awaiting clarity on their future positions in the market. Police investigate murder of Porter Michael Rollins. Authorities are investigating the murder of 42-year-old Porter Michael Rollins, who was reportedly stabbed to death on Wednesday evening by his 27-year-old girlfriend in an incident that occurred at their home in Recht Doorzee. According to a police statement, the suspect, a special constable, and Rollins were involved in a domestic argument that escalated. During the altercation, the woman allegedly armed herself with a knife and stabbed Rollins in the upper right leg. Frantically, Rollins was transported to the West Demerara Hospital, where he was pronounced dead upon arrival. The suspect has since been taken into custody and is expected to face murder charges in the coming week. This tragic incident comes amid reports from the Guyana police force indicating a concerning rise in domestic-related deaths linked to interpersonal violence. Authorities are calling for greater awareness and intervention to address the underlying issues contributing to such violence. Attorney General dismisses delay in opposition leader election amid controversy. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlall SC has responded to criticism over the delay in electing a new leader of the opposition, asserting that the matter will resolve once Speaker of the National Assembly, Manzoor Nadir, returns from overseas. However, Nandlall emphasized that the public discourse is overlooking a more critical issue: the character of the parliamentary member poised to assume the post. U.S. indicted businessman Azruddin Mohammed, leader of the We Invest in Nationhood, WIN party, has been nominated to become leader of the opposition, sparking concern regarding his pending extradition to the United States. During his weekly issues in the news program, Nandlall addressed the growing commentary surrounding the delay, including an editorial in Stabroek News, which suggested that the slow progress is detrimental to the democratic process. He stated, "It is common ground that the responsibility to convene the meeting where that election is to be done is that of the Speaker," noting that the Speaker's absence was publicly acknowledged. While recognizing concerns from various individuals and political parties, Nandlall expressed confidence that the opposition leader would be elected once the appropriate procedures could be followed. A serious concern: fugitive offender in Parliament. Nandlall sharply criticized the unevenness of public debate, highlighting that concerns about the delay overshadow the more pressing issue of having a fugitive offender expected to lead the opposition. "I am not seeing the same type of concerns being expressed about Guyana having a leader of the opposition who is a fugitive offender and who is the subject of extradition proceedings, indicted on serious charges of international crimes such as money laundering and mail fraud," he asserted. He claimed that Guyana is in an unprecedented situation, stating it is the first time in the country, and perhaps the English-speaking Caribbean and the wider Commonwealth, that such a scenario has occurred. "The stain and the international stigma that will attach to our parliamentary process will cost us permanent damage," Nandlall warned. Targeting Stabroek News, he accused the publication of displaying a bias towards matters involving the opposition party, expressing disappointment over a lack of coverage on the implications of having an indicted figure in Parliament. Nandlall stressed that law-abiding citizens should be concerned about the integrity of parliamentary institutions when an individual facing serious criminal allegations could potentially serve as opposition leader. He characterized the delay in the election as a temporary administrative issue that would be rectified soon and urged for greater public discourse on the implications of having an indicted member in such a significant political role. "This issue ought to feature with greater prominence in our public debates and pronouncements," Nandlall concluded. GPL and Guyana Forestry Commission signed $75 million Guyanese MOU for reforestation efforts. The Guyana Power and Light Incorporated GPL has signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU worth $75 million Guyanese with the Guyana Forestry Commission GFC to enhance reforestation and environmental restoration initiatives in the Dakura area of Linden, Region 10. The agreement aims to rehabilitate 8 hectares of previously replanted degraded land while also planting an additional 5 hectares with native tree species. This project is anticipated to support the growth of between 13,000 to 26,000 trees, based on standard reforestation density. The restored forest areas are expected to play a significant role in carbon storage and offsetting, with projections indicating that they could collectively sequester between 286 to 572 tons of CO2 annually once the trees mature. Over a 20-year growth period, this could result in the absorption of approximately 5,000 to 11,000 tons of CO2, bolstering Guyana's long-term climate mitigation strategies. In addition to the reforestation effort, 3 solar farms with a total capacity of 15 megawatts peak, MWP, and 22 megawatt-hours, MWH of battery storage are currently under development in Linden as part of the Guyana Utility-Scale Solar Photovoltaic Program, GuySol. This initiative aims to offset the environmental impacts of utility-scale solar projects and reinforce Guyana's natural carbon sinks. Beyond the carbon benefits, the reforestation efforts in Dacura will aid in restoring native biodiversity, stabilizing soils, reducing erosion, and protecting the local watershed that supports the Linden community. The increase in green cover is also expected to enhance resilience against climate change and foster healthier ecosystems for local wildlife and communities. Kesh Nanlal, leader of executive management at GPL, expressed pride in supporting such initiatives, stating, "The conservation and protection of our environment and natural resources must always be a priority, and we remain committed to advancing Guyana's low-carbon development strategy." Edward Goberthan, Commissioner for Forest at the GFC, welcomed the collaboration, recognizing the ecological significance of the Dacura area and the importance of restoring it for future generations. GPL continues to support Guyana's low-carbon development strategy, LCDS, by investing in natural climate solutions that both protect the environment and promote the advancement of renewable energy projects. Health Minister calls for increased prostate cancer screening among men. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony is urging greater participation in prostate cancer screenings among men, emphasizing the importance of early detection in improving treatment outcomes. In a statement to reporters, Dr. Anthony highlighted that the government provides free prostate cancer screenings, yet many men tend to seek medical assistance only when symptoms are severe. This delay in seeking care significantly limits their treatment options. A common thing that we see, for example, is in prostate cancer, which is the more prevalent cancer that affects men. We see men coming in at late stages, which indicates they have been experiencing symptoms for years prior but do not seek help until it becomes critical. At that point, resolving their health issues becomes problematic, noted Minister Anthony. Prostate cancer has emerged as a leading health threat to men in Guyana, accounting for 19% of all cancer-related deaths recorded nationwide over the past 3 years, according to the Ministry of Health's national guidelines for the management of prostate health. This statistic reflects the grim reality that prostate cancer is not only the most common cancer among Guyanese men, but also the deadliest. The minister mentioned the introduction of health vouchers designed to encourage more men to undergo PSA, prostate-specific antigen, tests, which are essential for early detection. We have been issuing vouchers for labs, one type for adults and one for children. There has been a relatively good uptake among adult men using these vouchers for their PSA tests. If the PSA levels are elevated, it could indicate changes in the prostate, allowing us to perform biopsies and further assessments, he explained. The Ministry of Health has identified specific groups at a higher risk, including men aged 45 and older, especially those of Afro-Guyanese descent, and those with a family history of prostate cancer. Multiple factors contribute to the low rates of screening, including poor health-seeking behaviors, cultural myths surrounding prostate examinations, and gaps in access to screening and treatment. These issues continue to hinder early detection efforts. The ministry emphasized that prostate cancer is likely curable if detected early, although prognosis depends on various factors including genetics, disease aggressiveness, and broader social determinants of health. Dr. Anthony's call to action aims to raise awareness about the importance of regular screenings, encouraging men to prioritize their health and seek preventive care.